HTV Network. On today's segment, we will be interviewing the general public and a few experts on their thoughts and personal intakes on the Renaissance. Hello, we are here at Heart Lake Secondary School, and we will be asking students around what their intake is on the Renaissance. Is your name Chinchilla? Now, what do you think the Renaissance is?
The Renaissance was a time period where art became more recognized, and I think it was beginning to become 3D. It was a time period where Leonardo da Vinci, he was dismantling bodies for the sake of humanism to kind of get a sense of what the human anatomy looks like, and this raised questions about religion, because back then religion was the basic authority over everyone, and everybody had no choice but to believe in what the Pope said and the clergy, the clergy said. So yeah, it was, and palaces were being made during the Renaissance. People were beginning to move into palaces. I think King Louis XIV, he became a ruler. Or no, wait, I don't know if that was the Renaissance.
Oh, well, thank you on that. Now, what is your personal intake on the Renaissance?
What is the Renaissance?
Now, what do you think the Renaissance means, or is to you?
Well, I know for sure that it has something to do with the introduction to all different types of music that we listen to nowadays.
It was something about philosophy, how the humanism was changed in the Renaissance, so I remember that.
I think it has to do with history
And the time period.
See it.
Oh, isn't it a type of bread?
The biggest thing that the Renaissance period was known for, I think, is it was a time of learning, a time of reinventing yourself. And one of the biggest things that would make that possible were the building of universities, where you had most of the nobility and the aristocracy who were able to attend and educate themselves. With that came the invention of the printing press, which is known as being huge in terms of what it did for society, because now things were being published. You had hard copies of things, not just stories and whatnot being told from generation to generation verbally. And that also increased the ability of people to know how to read and to appreciate that sort of thing. But the most important thing, I think, came of the Renaissance period is this man right here. It's not Pavarotti, this is Shakespeare. And Shakespeare made a huge impact on the Renaissance. Where would we be without Shakespeare? Okay, what he wrote, and like him or hate him, isn't this true, Taylor? No one ever said it, nor will they ever say it like Shakespeare. Tell the camera, right? No one ever, right? He's an actor. He's going to be an actor, this guy. He may be a Shakespearean actor. Do you like my Shakespeare?
I love your Shakespeare doll.
So honestly, there you go. I showed him to you guys, right? Yeah. So honestly, that is it. That is it. No one ever wrote, no one ever said it the way Shakespeare said it.
I was just buying something on these. I was talking to someone, and 500 years ago you wouldn't be able to do this. And 500 years ago, before the Renaissance, there wasn't that sort of education and media, things like that. You had to. People didn't know anything because they didn't have they obviously didn't have computers, because you didn't really have the plugs in a lot of walls there. They didn't have books, but then they did have books in the Renaissance. They had books. So they don't even have books anymore, but they had books. And in the books, because before the books, they were made by monks. So lots of crazy monks sitting there, just writing and writing and writing. But they weren't even writing in English. They were writing in Latin and Greek and whatever else, monk talk. Let's call it monk talk. And now we use cyber talk. So you probably don't see a lot of monks going LOL in their books, like an illuminated manuscript. But those books that they had, nobody could have. They were the big, massive things, and nobody had them except because they didn't talk monk talk. But then some guy named Steve Gutenberg, who I believe was in the Police Academy movies, he actually invented the printing press. And when he invented the printing press, which really he didn't invent, the Koreans did, but the Koreans don't seem to mind. When he did, then everybody had access to books. Now, unfortunately, a lot of them were still the kind of stuff that you get on the internet today, which is not what I'm looking at. But the problem was that well, not even the problem. The good thing was it meant that everybody had books now, and so they had information. And that's what the Renaissance is. It's the computer. I mean, the books. So the education.
And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. For if ye love them which love you, what think have ye? For sinner also love ye that love them. And if ye do good to them which do good to you, what thank have ye? For sinner also do have even the same.
Go.
How was everyone today in church? Okay, well, you know, nuclear families were the tradition, families back in the Renaissance, and nowadays kids are having kids and don't understand the meaning of a typical traditional family. It's just something that has really caught my mind.
Hello?
Yeah. And
She brought her kid.
Yeah.
I can't believe she had a kid at 16.
And just
I know.
church.
Everything was so different back in those days.
And you know.
Yeah. Okay, bye.